Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the 8th anniversary Pirate Alliance Blitz battle, taking on the big dog, Mr. Kaido, in the 10-star 40 stamina event over here on the global side of the game of One Piece Treasure Cruise. And in today's video, I have 3 particular teams taking down this particular event and breaking down the stages for you. Now, if you guys don't know, this event is actually pretty tricky. It's actually quite annoying. If you have different captains, different types of captains, the enemy does different things. If you guys want to check out what the event actually does, you can actually go over to this Sugofest trial here, and you can actually test the new Sugofest exclusive characters, and that way you can actually get a rundown of what happens. Now, if you run a strength captain, Stage 4 and Stage 5 are a little bit different. They'll actually turn into Dex variants, and they do a bunch of different things. If you run something like Luffy as a Dex captain, the enemy will turn into a Quick enemy. Now, if you run something like Quick or Sai, I haven't tested Int, but Quick and Sai will also turn into this same variant that Luffy actually has to take down. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys have tried the in variation and what it turns into. While you're down there, if you're enjoying today's video, make sure to belt the like button for me. And if you are new, hit that big red subscribe button as well. But like Stump, why are we farming? Why are we doing this blitz? Well, not only can you get your hands on some nice ranking rewards, as always with your alliance, there's a bunch of Chopper Man missions up here as well, which you can actually get a whole bunch of really cool items. Now, I was streaming today. I was streaming for about, 10.5 hours. Absolutely wild. If you guys want to check out the streams, make sure to go down to the description. Hit me up on Twitch. Hit me up with a follow, and you guys will see when we are streaming. We're going to be streaming tomorrow. We have a lot of cool stuff planned with a lot of really cool people. So make sure to come over and say hello and have some fun. But as you can see here, there's a bunch of really cool Chopper Man missions here as well. Not only will you get the Chopper Man missions done, but there is a free-to-play character to farm. And he looks a little bit like this. Where is he? Here he is. Mr. Oden. So you get yourself 10 copies of this particular Oden. He has a final tap, and he also has a super evolution. So if you do all of the required stuff that you need to do for this guy, you can basically farm him. Oops, excuse me. You can farm him up, get a whole bunch of copies, and max him out. He's a pretty okay unit. When you get into his 5+, he removes like 3 turns of barriers and extends the orb boost by 3 turns, or 2 turns, I think it is, which is a lot better. But nevertheless, he becomes a very good captain as well. But nevertheless, he's a character that I would highly recommend finding up. He has a final tap as well, so make sure to get your hands on him. But like I said, in today's video, I have 3 teams for you guys. The team that I'm using to try and speed my way through it, we have a team that doesn't use any of the new batch at all, including a new legend on the team, and it can be run 2 different ways. And then the middle team utilizes some of the rare recruits, but doesn't utilize the legends, because look, to be honest, everyone should be summoning on these banners. Doesn't matter how bad the steps are, everyone should be summoning on these banners. If you have gems, right now, go over to the banners, whether it's part 1, part 2, and summon. Like, it's just summon. For those of you who are waiting for something like part 3 for Yamato and Ace's part tomorrow, then I would highly recommend just using your natural stamina and then waiting to sort of farm it out then. But with that said, let's dive into the content. Alright, so team numero uno looks a little bit like this. We aren't using any of the new characters, no new legends, no new batch. That is the team. Those are the supports. Pretty support heavy, if I do say so myself. Unfortunately, this content's actually pretty tricky if you don't have the new batch. So that was the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive on in. Now, the team is led by Toki. Once again, Toki stays winning. This whole team is actually boosted. And obviously, there are a bunch of boosted characters that you want to bring to get your higher amount of points. So that way, you can not only get higher points for your alliance, but you can get those milestone missions done a lot quicker. Now, this team's led by Toki. We have the free-to-play Shinobu, the free-to-play Kawamatsu, and the free-to-play Ashuradoji as well. But we are rocking Kinemon and Dendro as well, because they are very good at removing damage reduction and defense up. Plus, then we have a whole bunch of supports. We have the ESO support on our Kawamatsu. Now, I don't think that's essential per se. I think you could probably use the Raizo support. That could also work on Toki. But if you have the ESO support, you can use Oden on Toki like I'm doing here. We also have the Cat Viper, the Treasure Map Cat Viper, as a support on our Shuradoji. That is fairly important as well. With the Slasher resistance, we can actually take out this stage with some Orb Lock. Don't stress though, Jack will just rotate your orbs. He makes a couple unfavorable for 99 turns. Don't stress, you can stay there as long as you need to. Jack doesn't do too much. On stage 4 though, you come up against either King or Queen. Now we got King, and King gives 5 turns of defense up, 5 turns of threshold, and binds our bottom row for 2 turns. Thanks to Kanjuro, we can remove the blinds, and then to remove the defense up in the threshold, we have a combination of Kinemon and Denjiro to remove the defense up, and we have a Shoutout to remove the threshold. With the Cat Viper support hitting a first perfect, we can get around the fifth turn of the threshold. But what you want to do here is you want to use your Shinobu special first. Shinobu gives you an attack buff, which helps out a lot. And Shinobu also removes the bind and the paralysis. On the Queen variant, there's actually paralysis, and that's why the support of Iso is actually really, really good on our Kawamatsu as well. Kawamatsu can also remove 3 turns of paralysis as well, but you will see more paralysis on the next stage. So having Kawamatsu like stockpiled, ready to go, actually works in our favor. Now, this particular team as well, it can operate with a friend captain waifus, but with Luffy being the newest legend and his part actually being available at the moment, having Luffy actually helps out so drastically, because a lot of people have actually summoned for Luffy. And if you guys are looking for Luffy captains, head down to the Discord, grab a Luffy captain over there, because it is going to help you guys out drastically. All of the legends have the same boost, so picking up Luffy is going to be in your best interest, especially if you have something like Toki, because Toki, being a strength character, gives you the same variation as what Kaido would actually give, which is this one here. Now, this is not the variation that Luffy was built for. We'll actually have a look at that in a second. But nevertheless, Luffy actually worked amazingly because his whole team is free spirit, besides free-to-play Shoutout, but he's just so good at getting around the threshold that we just had to include him here. Onto the Kaido stage now. Kaido is going to turn into a Dex character because our captain is strength. And as you guys saw there, we used the Toki ability on our captain, Toki, as well as, what's his name? Kawamatsu. Now on this stage, we get 5 turns of special binds on our sailors and 5 turns of paralysis. The Iso support procced there, but if you get the Queen variation, it actually won't, because you actually had to proc it previously on that turn 4. The only reason we want to get Kawamatsu's paralysis removed, or the special bind removed, thanks to the Toki ability, is so we can use his special to rotate those empty orbs. We have the 3.5 times attack boost, we have the 3.5 times orb boost from Toki, and the super typing give us color affinity. And as you can see there, we actually had plenty of damage just with Kawamatsu and Toki to take out Kaido. So it works very, very nicely. That is the non-boosted or non-new character team. Works an absolute treat, to be honest. And was actually pretty impressed by it. 3.22, not the biggest point multiplier. If you have some of the new batch, you want to try and include them. But let's move on to a team that actually uses those. Alright, so the second team looks a little bit like this. Now, we aren't using a legend for this particular team, but if you have your own Luffy, this team will operate the same way with Luffy as your captain. All you have to do is drop Toki from the team, bring Yamato down as a sub, and then replace King with something like a Shoutout, the one that came out with Kinemon Denjiro, and Oden, or another attack down removing character. As long as it's 5 turns of attack down, you will be absolutely hunky-dory. On stage 1 and 2, we just come up against fodder enemies. We are just going to tap our way through them, and it's going to be very, very nice. If you have, like I said, if you have your own Luffy, it will actually operate a lot smoother because you get the same variation. Because our captain's Sai, we get the same variation as if our captain was Dex, just like Luffy. Now, this team does use the new Zoro, it does use the new Sanji, and it does use the new King, which is giving us a lot of points. However, we do have Toki on this particular team, and Toki's just really, really good because Toki can help us get around special reverse, which is very, very annoying in this particular fight, unless you have 2 Luffys. On stage 3 against Jack, he rotates all of our orbs and makes some negative ones. With the Germa support on Sanji, we can actually give ourselves a full board of tandem slots, and with that, we can activate the super tandem that Luffy can provide, and we can actually take out Jack in one fell swoop. It all works out pretty hunky-dory from here. Moving on to stage 4 now, we can come up against either King or Queen. Now, unlike the previous team, they're going to turn into a quick color, and they do a bunch of different things. King gives us a full board of block orbs, 5 turns of special bind, as well as putting up 5 turns of threshold on himself. So this is where having Yamato is really nice, because Yamato can give us a full board of block orbs, which is very, very handy to have. And then we can use the Luffy super type to give us cooldowns, and then we can use Sanji and Zoro to get around this particular stage. All you need is Zoro and Sanji, and you'll actually be able to get around this particular stage easy peasy. Just like when you come up against the Kaido variation, the Queen and Jack combination works very, very well. But we'll touch on that when we move on to that variation. As you guys saw there, we had enough damage to take them out, and we actually used the Toki ability on our King, because he's removing attack down, and our Friend Captain Luffy. That way we have a 3.5 times attack boost on both King and Luffy. We cop a whole bunch of despair here, so that's why a Luffy Friend Captain is very, very good here because he can remove 20 turns of despair. Luffy gives us some tandem orbs on our Zoro and our Sanji, and that way we can actually get the super tandem effect. And as you guys will see here, once we get that back-ended damage popping with the 3.75 times attack thanks to King, extending that buff, as well as the 3.5 times orb, we have plenty of damage to take out Kaido. No ifs, no buts, no coconuts. It all works out pretty damn nice with the Monkey D. Luffy and Yamato 6+ team. So that team, if you guys did some summons and you were unlucky and you didn't pull one of the legends, but you've got the batch, this team works out like an absolute dreamboat. It doesn't have any issues. It doesn't need to stall, and it works out very, very smoothly. It also has around 4.73 points, which is very, very nice for a team that doesn't use a legend of its own. But we are going to move on to the big old Wayland team now. Let's check out the team that I'm going to be rocking. Alright, so far, this is the team that we have put together through my alliance and through like stream and stuff like that. Actually, big shout out to stream, because I was using a different team to this particular comp. I was using Yamato and Ace as my captain, and running it a little bit differently, and I was actually getting 26 times points, but with this particular team, we're only getting 25 times point. Now, I've sacrificed that extra one extra buff to save about a minute each run. Now, I am doing a few more runs than what my free stamina would provide. So having the speed of Kaido and allowing him to get the super class to just wave clear works amazingly on that stage too. If you wanted to, you could always use Yamato and Ace as your captain. And then I think we were using Zoro on our team, and with the Katakuri combination, the free-to-play Katakuri. But this particular way, you can actually just tear through Jack. You don't have to worry about that orb manipulation that he has because you have Wano slots. Once you hit stage 4, you come up against King or Queen. We got King on this particular run. He turns into a Dex character, the opposite to our captain, because we're running Strength, which is great. He has 5 turns of defense up, 5 turns of threshold, gives us bind on the bottom row, and thanks to King and Queen, we can just remove all of that, and it all works out really, really nicely. We have Luffy to give ourselves an orb buff, namely for the waifu unit, and that way we can take out King. Now, if you don't have Luffy, you just want to rotate orbs here somehow, give yourself some sort of buff. You also have the Ace Yamato special there. You could also use that. Like, that's another option if you have them. But Ace Yamato and Luffy are completely replaceable in this team. They're literally just here for points and to make the run a little bit smoother on stage 4. Because once you hit the final stage, all you need to do is use the waifu special and then use Kaido with the Akainu support. You just single tap with the Kaido and you just go, see you later, Dex Kaido. You're just going to go by. You're just going to go absolutely by with a single tap. So, sayonara, sir. So, that's going to wrap up the video. Like I said, if you do want a 26 times point, I can upload it as a shorts for you guys if you would like to see that. Let me know in the comment section below. And while you're there, don't forget to belt the like button. If you are new to the channel, you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button, hit that bell notification because there's going to be heaps of content coming to your anniversary and you don't want to miss a thing. Most importantly though, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!